The Louie T Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the command post. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, your commander-in-chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. So, preseason game number 1 is on the horizon. Tomorrow at noon, the Washington Commanders will take on the New York Jets in the first game of the Dan Quinn and Adam Peters era. Now, while it won't count in the wins and losses column, it is sort of a symbolic game, if you will. I'm looking forward to this game because I feel like, personally, this game is the beginning of something new, which is duh, but something different and something big. Because I truly believe in what they're building, right? So many of you, I think, have this very narrow focus about what this season is supposed to represent and what it is. And yesterday was somewhat humbling for some of you who, as Terry McLaurin said, wanted to put the cart before the horse. And for me, honestly, this is going to be a process and you can't skip steps. And this is going to be a fun season. I've continued to say that. I'm going to continue. I've said that. I'm going to continue to say that, rather. I'm going to enjoy this season, but it's going to have its ups and downs. And, I thought a lot about yesterday, because you guys provoke thought out of me. Now, yesterday was funny. I enjoyed yesterday for a number of reasons because I said this on the show that you guys were in mid-season form in August. August 8th, to be exact, which is just insane, right? That we've come to that. But it forced me to think about a lot of different things. One thing that I never brought up in any part of the preview or the shows leading up to the joint practice, the game or anything, I never once mentioned the fact that the Jets are a Super Bowl contending team. I've thought about how much better their roster is. Like, even without Aaron Rodgers, the only reason they weren't good last year was because they didn't have a quarterback. If you drop in Tyrod Taylor to their roster, that's a playoff team last year. Now, we all know Tyrod would have probably gotten hurt at some point, and they would have still been in the predicament that they ultimately found themselves in without a quarterback that could help them win. But if you give them steady play at the quarterback position, they're no less than a playoff team. With Aaron Rodgers, they're a Super Bowl contending football team. That is a championship roster that we went against yesterday, minus Aaron Rodgers. So to think that the outcome was going to be anything, and then you add in the rain, obviously, that did not help. All right. Those conditions were miserable. And look, you can fancy yourself as a competitor, this, that, and the third. Nobody wants to play in the rain, okay? You're not 6 years old. These guys aren't 9 years old. Nobody wants to go out and have a fun time in the rain. Yeah. Being wet and cold sucks, okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jahan Dotson said yesterday, I prepared for the rain, but I didn't prepare to be soaked. I was ready to go inside. That's the mentality that a lot of those guys were out there with. This is garbage. When is this over? I want to go inside. Okay. Yes, they're going to have to play a game or two this season in rainy conditions, which is why you practice outside in those types of conditions. Because guess what? If you're playing the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I hope that this doesn't happen in week 1, and they have a tropical storm, guess what? You're going to have to play in the same shit you just played in yesterday in the joint practice. However, all that aside, the Jets are just better than us, period, right? And honestly speaking, most weeks we take the field, that is going to be the case. The team that we are playing against is going to be better than us. From a talent perspective, from a process perspective, where they are in their journey, their process, they're further along. There won't be many teams that will be less further along in their process than us. We just started. We just started building. No one has turned over their roster more than we have this offseason. We have the least continuity of any team in the NFL. And at the most important position group, offensive line, we have had no continuity. We haven't had our starting five in the lineup in practice for half of training camp. Andrew Wiley has been yo-yoing in and out of team drills. Sam Cosmi missed the last 3 practices. Brandon Coleman missed the last 2. So even at the position that we already had issues with, we haven't had any continuity there. The Jets bolster a fantastic receiving group. We saw it. Headlined by Garrett Wilson. I tried to warn you guys about Garrett Wilson already. When we did the Terry thing last year, if you recall, and we were making a list, and I still got that list of receivers right here in front of me. I remember going back and forth with you, telling you that Garrett Wilson is better than Terry McLaurin, and a lot of you told me I was out of my damn mind. I do this for a living, by the way. Anyway, long story short, there are going to be a lot of things I'm going to be looking for in this game versus the Jets. And a lot of them are very similar to the joint practice. However, there's going to be a slight twist and 1 or 2 things added to the list, because the Jets aren't going to have their starters anywhere near this game. Okay. We won't see Garrett Wilson. We won't see Aaron Rodgers. You won't see either of those tackles, Morgan Moses or Tyron Smith. You won't see any of those defenders that were wreaking havoc against our tackles in practice and one-on-one drills and things of that. You won't see any of those guys for the most part. Maybe 1 or 2 of those defensive ends who aren't technically first-team guys who could use the reps. We might see Will McDonald IV. He was kicking ass yesterday. He's a second-year player. He might be able to use the reps. But you're probably not going to see Jermaine Johnson. Probably not going to see C.J. Mosley or Quincy Williams or Sauce Gardner or DJ Reed or any of those guys. Probably not going to see any of those guys. And that's fine. I don't give a shit. That doesn't bother me one bit. We can't control what they decide to do with their roster. What we can control is what we do against the people that they put on the field, right? And that's what we're going to focus on today, right? However, before I even get to any of that, I have an Emmanuel Forbes plea. I have a plea. Please hear me out, okay? Yesterday was rough for the kid. Emmanuel Forbes took it on the chin. It was bad. I felt bad for him. It was everywhere. I couldn't open up my social media and not run into somebody reposting or posting a clip of Emmanuel Forbes getting torched. It was bad. I'm not going to lie. There's a clip of a kid who's screaming out as he's filming. Someone's filming around him. Maybe it's his dad. Maybe it's him. I don't know. This kid can't be any more than 13 years old. And he screams out, "Hey, Emmanuel Forbes! Garrett Wilson's gonna cook you!" And then the ball is snapped. And before the ball is even thrown, the kid yells, "I told you!" And the ball comes and it's like, touchdown. I told you, Emmanuel Forbes, Garrett Wilson was gonna cook you. And I said, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. And it was just joke after joke. And it was just meme after meme and clip after clip. And I I hope he took a sabbatical from social media. Just put your phone down. Don't open up any of the apps that you like to peruse. Just leave it alone for 72 to 96 hours, right? Just put the phone down. Don't worry about it. They'll forget about this one. We got another one next week. Here's my plea, okay? Hear me out. Emmanuel Forbes might suck. You guys might be right, okay? He's not off to a great start. Anybody with a set of eyes can see that. I did the same thing with Dwayne Haskins. We saw how that turned out. I didn't have a plea for Dwayne because I was never a Dwayne Haskins believer. I never wanted him in Washington. May he rest in peace. God rest his soul. I never wanted Emmanuel Forbes, but I wasn't as against drafting Forbes as I was Haskins. Here's the difference. Dwayne Haskins played a position that demanded you grow up, and you grow up quickly. Mentally, you had to be locked in and ready for the challenge. He was not. I don't know mentally where Emmanuel Forbes is, but he plays a position where mentally you have to be locked in because you're going to get beat. It's the nature of the position. But if you're able to stay in the fight and be able to overcome those obstacles and hurdles, you can still be a fantastic player in this league at the cornerback position. I never thought Emmanuel Forbes was built to play pure man-to-man coverage. He's high cut. He doesn't get out of his back pedal very well. His transitions from, pedal to turn and sprint aren't great because he's so high cut. I do love his ability to click and close, but that you can do that out of zone. And that's where he shined to me in college at Mississippi State, playing zone, having zone eyes, keying quarterback's eyes, and then jumping routes, right? That's where he excelled to me. Understanding concepts, looking at the formation, understanding what he was about to see and get, and then jumping it. That's what this system is all about, right? So hear me out. The practice yesterday, and a lot of what we saw last year was them asking him to play man coverage. Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. literally told us before the joint practice, we're not going to be calling schemes or any of that. We just want to see what guys can do mano a mano, one-on-one, man-to-man. Let's just see what you have. Well, we already know Emmanuel Forbes isn't going to shine in that regard. I liken him to the Dallas Cowboys corner, DaRon Bland. DaRon Bland is not a great corner, okay? Don't be fooled by all the interceptions. He's a great playmaker. You can cook DaRon Bland. We watched him get cooked on national television by the Seattle Seahawks. Didn't matter who they put in front of him. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Didn't matter. Jackson Smith and Jigba. He was getting worked. It was so bad that they put up a caption. They put up a chyron of stats. 6 targets, 5 completions, 149 yards, and like 2 touchdowns in the first half of that game. Geno was killing them. But you know what he's capable of? If you make a mistake and they tell him in that scheme, the one that we're going to have this year, look, if they throw this route, jump it, pick it off. Don't worry about anything else. We're going to send pressure. It's going to get there. They're going to have to throw the football. And if they throw it, you go. That's Emmanuel Forbes' superpower. If he can't do that, we got nothing, right? So hear my plea. Yesterday was about seeing what we can and can't get away with in just man-to-man, pure man-to-man coverage. And I'm not telling you they're never going to play man-to-man coverage with our corners. Because at some point, you're going to have to play man-to-man coverage. You can't just play zone all the time. But what they can do and what they will do is, and I've heard Benjamin St. Juste say this already, so I know that there's an element of this in their defense. You're going to have situations where they're going to blitz or we're going to apply pressure. However, it might be just a stunt up front, and married on the back end are the corners sitting on a route, just sitting on it. Like literally, if they throw this route, jump it, pick it, go the other way. That's all DaRon Bland does, is he sits on routes. Forbes sits on routes very well. Okay. Which is why I think he can have that kind of an impact. If you're asking DaRon Bland to just play straight man-to-man, it's not going to work. If you're asking Emmanuel Forbes to play straight man-to-man, it's not going to work. That's not who he is as a corner. But if you put him in positions to make plays, and I strongly believe this group, this staff is going to put him in positions to make plays, he's going to be better than he was last year and what he appears to be right now. So essentially what I'm asking you to do is to reserve judgment on Emmanuel Forbes. Obviously, you've already probably made up your mind. You have an opinion formed on Emmanuel Forbes already. I can't ask you to remove everything that you've seen from him already because there's been a lot of bad. I admit. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Make some space in your mind, right? Because all of your Emmanuel Forbes thoughts are probably negative at this point. So I'm asking you to just condense that a bit, just a little bit, right? Just squeeze it in a little, create this much space for this thought right here. Give him a shot in this scheme, right? Give him an opportunity this season to see what he can do when we start getting pressure on the quarterback. Because we're going to play some quarterbacks that are going to do some stupid shit with the football if pressure is applied. And we're going to apply pressure to teams. You can spin this whatever way you want. We got pressure yesterday against the Jets. It wasn't an ideal situation for the offensive line or the defensive line, right? It wasn't an ideal situation. But we got pressure on the Jets yesterday. And I expect us to get pressure this season. I do. And with pressure comes a process that is sped up for a quarterback, which means the ball has to come out, which means you get to jump routes. And Benjamin St. Juste has already said, they're telling us if they run this route, go get the football. We don't care about anything else. If they run this route, and they're watching film, so they're seeing what teams are doing, what they like to do out of this formation and that formation. Teams have tells and tendencies. Hey, they love to run the post out of this split. Single side receiver. They got trips to the other side. When they got that single side receiver over there, they like to work on a tighter split so they can get to the corner route, right? Or they can get to the out, jump it. If they run something else, it's on us. Don't worry about it. They run a double move or they run, a slant, that's on us. Don't worry about it. But if they run that out, you better jump that bitch and go get it. If they run that post, you better take it. Because we're telling you, don't worry about anything else. That's all Emmanuel Forbes needs, is to just focus on getting the football. One job. They run this route, go get the football. That's what they're going to simplify things for him in this scheme. Give him this season to see if he can adapt to this scheme, which is more like the college scheme that he played, where they're going to give him opportunities to go get the football. And if he can't do it this year, if it looks like it looked in the joint practice and all of last year, and he's getting bodied by receivers and he can't take because again, he was drafted to take the football away. That's his superpower. If he can't do that, then he's of no service to us because he's not a pure man cover corner. So he can't just say, nope, you're not doing that on my side. That's not who he is. His purpose is to take it away. You make a mistake around Forbes, it's supposed to be our football. I think he can do that in this scheme. So all I'm asking is that you create a little space for this season to see what he does. They're not scheming anything up right now. So it's not going to look the way that I anticipate it looking come September and beyond. You all right? They're not scheming anything up in these games. They're not attacking opponents a specific way. They're not jumping certain routes. We just want to see what you can do, right? In some of those clips, tell me that you didn't see Emmanuel Forbes, not even in the picture, he was so far off on the ball, right? On one route, it was 3rd and 10, and Emmanuel Forbes had to be 10 yards off. Garrett Wilson ran 7 yards up the field, caught the football, made like 9 guys miss, cut across the field, and picked up like 22 yards. Forbes wasn't even in the shot when he caught it. So, and then there were plays where he was in press coverage and he just got beat, right? So what I'm telling you is there's no real rhyme or reason right now. In the season, there will be a rhyme and there will be a reason that he's doing certain things, and he will look to jump passes, and the ball will have to come out because Frankie Louvu is coming, because Dorrance Armstrong is coming, because Jonathan Allen is coming, because Deron Payne is coming, because someone is free. And Forbes will have an opportunity to do the thing he was drafted to do. So all I'm asking you to do is to give him a chance this year in this scheme to see if he can't start taking the football away. This scheme should be advantageous for his skill set. Jason Simmons is working with him. They're going to get him in a position where we want you to hunt the football. If he can't do it this year, I won't ask you. I won't beg you. I won't have an Emmanuel Forbes plea if he can't do it this year. And we might get to the midway point of this season and you might say, Louie, it's over for him. He sucks. And I might concede. And I might say, I think you're right. But at least give him a shot in this system, guys. We knew the last group had no idea what they were doing. No clue. Okay? They didn't know if they were coming or going. They had no idea what the hell they were doing. They were drafting guys for future years, and they weren't going to be here. They drafted a 3rd-round center after signing a center in free agency and had no plan. They drafted a tackle that wasn't ready for football for at least 2 years, as if they were going to be here for another 2 years. They had no clue. That kid's head was spinning last year. They were yo-yoing him in and out of the lineup. Hey, you're good. Get out of the game. You suck. Okay, let's see what you got. He didn't know what to think last year. Give him a chance this year. Give him a chance. That's all I ask. Anyway, I digress. That's my Emmanuel Forbes plea. Give him this season in this scheme where they know how to scheme it up to help you take it away, and let's see what he does. So we got a preseason game tomorrow. How about that? Hey, preseason football. We actually get to see Jaden Daniels in an actual Commanders uniform. That should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So first things first, who the hell is playing on the offensive line? That makes a huge difference. Now, in my mind's eye, we're not going up against the Jets A team. So even if it's not the full-fledged group, I expect there to be some semblance of, hey, we're not going to be out here just getting destroyed. As long as Sam Cosmi plays, and I have no reason to believe that he won't, because he practiced yesterday. He was in and out of the lineup yesterday. So he's getting over that illness. I have no reason to think that he won't play. So off the strength of Cosmi, being in yesterday in certain situations and getting his feet wet, I'd like to think that 2 more days, yesterday and, tomorrow, will give him a chance to be ready to go. So if you give me Cosmi back, I still worry about right tackle because Trent Scott has been horrible this camp to this point. He's reverted back to where he was before we got him. He actually was solid last year. I don't know what happened. You know, the clock struck midnight and he turned back into a pumpkin. Whatever the case may be, it's you never know what you've got till it's gone. We've been talking so much shit about Andrew Wiley. Here is, we're begging for him to be in the lineup. Look, if he doesn't play, I just want him to be healthy for week 1 at this point. He's the best of the rest at right tackle. So if he can't go, he can't go. I can't imagine Jaden Daniels being out there more than 2 possessions. I wouldn't be shocked if it's 1 possession. If it's a successful possession where you pick up 2 or 3 first downs, that might be it for him, right? If it's 3 and out, he'll probably come back out 1 more time. That's my guess. And then he'll be done for the day. Either way, it's not going to be a lot. So don't think for 1 second Jaden Daniels is going to be out there for a very long time, because he won't. Because the longer he's out there, the longer you have to keep Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson and whatever starters you have on the offensive line, and Brian Robinson Jr. and all of those guys, Austin Eckler, and Zach Ertz, they all have to be out there if he's out there. So I'd imagine that it's going to be a quick hook for him. But I also want to tell you, we heard from Dan Quinn yesterday, and Quinn, he didn't explain the injury situation because he doesn't have to, but he made it seem, okay, so it doesn't sound like Brandon Coleman is sick. I'll just say that. Remember, I was throwing out this, narrative of, maybe he's sick. I think he might have gotten sick. Sam Cosmi was sick. Maybe he caught whatever Cosmi had. I don't think that's the case. I think he injured something. It's minor. Quinn said it's nothing to be worried about. I take him at face value. He hasn't lied to me yet, so I have no reason to believe that he's not telling me the truth here. I think Coleman is going to be fine. I don't think he's going to play in this game, though. I don't. So I think Cornelius Lucas is your starting left tackle, and I'm fine with that because we're not playing against the Jets A team. So he should be fine. But again, the guy that cooked him in practice will be out there, I think, Will McDonald. And if Cornelius Lucas hasn't learned from, the joint practice, then it could be trouble again. But he should be out there at left tackle. We got Allegretti, Biotish, and Cosmi. To me, that is enough. If we have the interior of our offensive line intact, whatever we do at the tackle positions, I think we can survive a possession or two. And we should be able to run the ball more effectively if Cosmi's out there, I feel like. So Wiley's strength is running the football. So if he's out there, then that gives us an even better chance to do that too. So we'll see what the offensive line looks like. But here are my biggest things that I'm looking for, because it's less about matchups. A lot of the joint practice featured matchups. Oh, what is our receivers going to do against their corners? Well, their corners aren't playing. Their starters aren't playing. So I don't really care about that anymore, right? What is our offensive line going to do against their defense? Well, we're not going to see Quinnen Williams and all those guys because they're not going to play in this game. So it drastically changes the matchups that you were looking for at the joint practice. That's it's more of a big picture here, right? So first thing I'm looking for is special teams, right? It was a disaster in the joint practice. We have no idea what we're doing on kickoffs right now. Punts, I think they have an idea, but I still want to see their plan of action there as well. And then the kicking situation clearly is an issue right now. And it ultimately, I think, is going to come down to the game. We can talk about practice all day. Both kickers are 19 of 25 in practice. In the 5 practices that Riley Patterson has been here and the competition has taken place, both kickers are 19 of 25. So I don't really want to harp on practice. The game is where it's going to be done. The kickoffs, landing in the landing zone, and then obviously making your kicks in the field goal department and extra points as well. So dying to see special teams in this game, how it looks on all phases, kick coverage, return, field goals, extra points, everything. Special teams is huge because that right now, if you ask me, what am I most concerned about? I'm going to tell you it's special teams because I'm a very, very firm believer that this defense is going to be good. And if you're good defensively, you're going to have a shot to win games. You may not win them. And I told you, I don't think we're going to win a lot of the games that we're in, but we're going to be in those games. And all I'm asking for is a chance. And I think our defense is going to give us that. I sincerely do, because Jaden Daniels doesn't turn the football over a ton. And if we're just punting the ball and our defense is standing tall, we're going to have chances to be in games. We know what that looks like because a lot of our wins with Ronald Rivera as our coach look like that. Defensive struggles, 17-15. How many games did we win 17-15? We had to set an NFL record for most 17-15 victories in a single season. I mean, who wins games 17-15? We did, right? So I'm not telling you that that's what all the games are going to look like, but if you're going to win games like that, you better be able to make field goals. You better be able to make your extra points. So I'm really looking forward to seeing special teams. Next thing is offensive competency, okay? Look, I don't expect Jaden to be out there for very long. I don't expect Marcus Mariota to be out there for very long, okay? Jaden 1 to 2 possessions max. Mariota 2 to 3 possessions max. And then the rest of the game is going to be split between Jeff Driscoll and Sam Hartman. So I just want to see competency from QB1 to QB4. Offensively, I want to see competency throughout because guess what? As we've seen, we're probably going to have to tap into whatever depth we have this season. On the offensive line, we're still trying to figure out who's going to be that last receiver because I think 5 of the 6 spots at receiver are spoken for, right? We still need to figure out what's going on at tight end. Like, they cut Armani Rogers, so there's really not a competition. The question now is, are you keeping 3 or 4? Cole Turner, can you be physical enough or can you separate yourself as an athlete enough to make yourself a roster spot candidate? Right now, Cole Turner feels like a guy that's on the roster, but he could easily play his way off of the roster, okay? So it doesn't matter who's in early or late. I need to see offensive competency. Go out there, execute. You're playing against backups. The Jets will put no starters on the field, right? There may be 1 or 2 guys that will play snaps for the Jets on a regular basis once the season starts, getting reps, but there won't be many of them on the field on Sunday or Saturday, excuse me. So take advantage of your reps, dominate the guy in front of you. And I've said this about Jaden Daniels. I'm all about the process for him. His process wasn't bad yesterday. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad considering the environment, the situation that he was put in with the offensive line and the elements. His first time seeing a different colored jersey, the process wasn't bad. He had his moments where the ball came out quick. He was making quick decisions. He looked really good and sharp in 7-on-7. That's without a pass rush, though. So, you take that with a grain of salt. He looked really good in 7-on-7. The process was there, but that's easy. The hard thing is when you actually have a rush, and he's live tomorrow. So I just want to see the process. If it's not there, tuck it and run. If it's not there, check it down to your back. I have a feeling Cliff is going to get it out of his hands quickly. We're going to see a steady diet of wide receiver screens, underneath throws, getting it out. Cliff is not going to put Jaden at risk in the preseason. We might get 1 deep shot, 1, maybe, and you're pushing it, okay? A lot of what you see with young quarterbacks in the preseason are just quick throws. Just get it out of their hands. Nobody wants to see their young quarterback get hit, okay? So I'm all about the process. Getting in and out of the huddle. Get to the line of scrimmage. Get everybody lined up. No delay of games. Clean process. You snap the ball. You hand it off. You carry out your fake. You drop back. It's a shotgun snap. You process the field. Terry's open on the slant. You get it to him. Terry's not open on the slant. You go to number 2. Zach Ertz is sitting down right in front of you on a hitch. Get it to him. Right? I just want to see the process. That's all I'm looking for. It's going to be quick. He's not going to hold on to it very long. Cliff is going to get it out of his hands because they don't want him taking any hits in the preseason. They just want him to get his feet wet. They want him to have some confidence. He'll probably throw it anywhere from 3 to 6 times. Granted that they have like first downs and they continue to sustain offense. If not, he'll be like Drake May last night, 2 of 3, 15 yards, and that'll be it. So again, I'm not looking for, fireworks. Not expecting that tomorrow afternoon. I'm just expecting the process to look good. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not worried about the offensive line. We're going to take care of that. Run the football effectively. That would be nice because we did not do it all that well in the joint practice. They're not going to have their A team out there. Run the football more effectively. Take some pressure off of Jaden, right? Let's not be in 2nd and 9 because you got 1 yard on a run. Let's get to 2nd and 7 or 6 or 5 even, right? Now you can throw a little dump down to Austin Eckler out of the backfield and it's a first down, right? Let's get into that kind of process. Let's get into that kind of flow. That's what I'm looking for. Because we're running basic plays. Cliff has already told us we're not showing anything of note, which we don't expect him to. It's going to be as vanilla gets. What we're looking for is out executing the guy in front of you. Let's see if they can do that, right? Defensively, they're not going to have their A team in there, but they still might have Tyrod Taylor out there, right? I expect Tyrod to be out there as a matter of fact. They could say, you know what? Tyrod's too valuable to us. No Aaron Rodgers, no Tyrod, and whomever the third quarterback is gets to start and plays the entire game, essentially. That might happen too. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't care what they do, honestly. Same thing I'm looking for on offense, I'm looking for on defense. I'm looking for functionality. I'm looking for guys to know where they're supposed to be where they're supposed to be, get there, and when they get there, do something while you're there, right? I don't worry about Frankie Louvu or Deron Payne or Jonathan Allen or Dorrance Armstrong or hell, even Cleveland Farrell. I don't worry about those guys up front, Bobby Wagner, any of those guys. They'll be in and out just like the offense. My guess is they'll get a possession. If it's 3 and out, they might be done, right? Either way, it's one possession, I think, for the starting defense. That's the way I see it. If it's 3 and out, great. You guys did a great job. You're done, right? If it's a possession where the Jets get first downs, well, this is your only possession. Find a way to get a stop. Get off the field. Don't give up a touchdown, et cetera, right? That's what I expect. The defense goes out there and executes. And what I'm looking for are specific players to step up and announce themselves as potential candidates to make this roster. We don't know who our 5th corner is right now. You can make fun of Emmanuel Forbes. We can talk about St. Juice. You can talk about Michael Davis. Those guys are all making the team. No matter what happens in the preseason, those guys are making the team. We know Mike Sainristil is making the team. So who's going to be the 5th corner? Castro Fields, do you want a roster spot or not? James Pierre, do you want a roster spot or not? Noah Igbenogany, to me, is the leader in the clubhouse. If you want a spot, you're going to have to take it from him. Let's see what you got. Because, again, they're not going to do anything exotic in this game. You line up and you find a way to get it done. I've been talking about these linebackers. Feel really good about that position. It's one of our better positional groups. Same with safety. But at safety, Defoe was in pads on Thursday. Can he find a way to play in the game? Because, again, it's getting a little dicey at safety, right? Getting a little tight. Need you to be out there showing this staff what you can provide, what value you add to the team. It's a logjam at safety. Jeremy Reeves ain't getting cut. Quan Martin ain't getting cut. Jeremy Chin ain't getting cut. And I don't know this for sure, but I don't think Dominic Hampton's getting cut. That's 4. We playing that numbers game. Percy Butler's been the first guy off the bench. That's 5. I don't think they're keeping 6. So I need to see what's going on. Who's in the mix? Percy, you really want a spot? Because, you know, I don't believe you. You need more people. I don't believe you. You take horrible angles. You don't tackle well. I don't believe you. Make me a believer. Prove me wrong. They believe in you. I don't. Change my mind. These are the things that I'm looking for, right? These linebackers. Let me see what you got. Corners. Let me see what you got. Fedarian Mathis, please stand up. Because we don't have to keep 5 defensive tackles. Every time I show my 53-man roster, your name comes up as a guy, hey, we can cut him. Let's add another one of these. Let's get rid of Fedarian Mathis. People want you gone, my man. And right now, you have no body of work to stand on to say, hey, no. Y'all know I'm good for this, right? At least we can say with John Ridgway, no. He's good for stopping the run. We know his body of work shows he'll stop the run. And if worst case scenario, if push comes to shove, he'll powerbomb somebody's ass. He holds value. Captain Insano shows no mercy. Okay? Where you at, man? If you're trying to make this roster, stand up and say so. That journey begins now. Because we can keep 4 defensive tackles and keep it pushing. We don't have to keep 5. Same thing with those edge rushers. Hey, KJ, what you doing? What's going on? Trying to make this team. I heard they really like this Javonte John Baptiste guy. I heard they really like him. He's making a strong push. Oh, yeah? Show me. These are the things that I'm looking for. When it's all said and done, I'm just looking for guys to go out and just make plays, man. Go have fun. It's the preseason, right? Go have fun. Jahan, go get you a catch or 2. Terry, go get you a catch or 2, right? Maybe it won't happen because, again, I don't think they're going to be out there very long. But if we get some first downs and we move the football, it might be enough for everybody to get a little something, right? At the end of the day, I think you're going to come away from this preseason game feeling a lot better than you did at the joint practice. If you don't, we had a really rough go of it, and that's a problem for me because you're not going to be playing against the Jets A team. So I think this is going to go well. Other than special teams, I really don't know. I can't really say with the special team stuff. I'm dying to see what that looks like, by the way, and how they handle that. But I think you're going to walk away feeling good. Feeling relatively like, okay, that wasn't bad. I wanted to see more, but you're not going to see more. It's the preseason. They're not going to keep Jaden out there very long because they don't want to keep their starters out there very long. And they're not going to put the defense out there for so long. So, anyway, I digress. Oh, yeah. And that's another thing. I'm glad I just looked down and saw what Mega said. I do want to see the rookies. I want to see Ben Sinnott. He's going to play a lot. I would assume Luke McCaffrey's going to be out there quite a bit. I want to see those guys. Bryson Tremaine has been, making plays left and right. Okay. Show me what you got, big fella. Show me what you got. I want to see it. You're making all these plays in the preseason or in camp and even in the joint practice. Show me what you got. We don't know who the 6th receiver is going to be. That spot's up for grabs. Luke's already making the squad. I want to see what Luke's got. We're going to find out through these 3 preseason games because Luke should be playing in all 3 of them, right? If he's going to be able to contribute this year or not. I think some of you had this false sense of reality of what he was going to be able to come in and do as a rookie. Like he's a rookie and not a 1st or a 2nd round rookie. He's a 3rd round rookie. And some of you were putting 1st and 2nd round expectations on top of him. If he comes in here and he has 437 yards and 2 touchdowns this year, that is a successful season for a 3rd round pick who right now is looking like the 4th receiver on the roster. It's a really good season for him. We're going to see in these preseason games if he's capable of that. And I think he is. Want to see Johnny Newton's not playing in this game, just so you know. Don't look for him, right? Coleman's not going to play in this game. Don't look for him. But Jordan McGee's going to be one to watch. He's a guy you're gonna watch him. You go, yo, damn, who's 58? And I don't know if his number is 58 or not. I don't know what his number is, but he's going to stand out, whatever his number is. And we'll learn some numbers, some jersey numbers, and all of that stuff in this game too, right? And so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to seeing Dominique Hampton. We haven't heard a lot from some of these guys in camp. Now we get to lay eyes on them and see exactly what it is they're doing out there. So definitely looking to see that for sure. Let's get to the comment section and get you guys out of here. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Big Money Sonny. What's going on, Big Money? Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, stop lying to the community. Wait a minute. How your first sentence out your mouth? You ain't say, yo, what up, Lou? Nothing. You just come at my neck. Come for the jugular vein. Damn. How I'm lying to the community, man. The offensive line is ass. When your starters feature Cornelius Lucas, Michael Dieter, and Trent Scott, yes, the offensive line is ass. If the offensive line is intact with all five guys that we presume are starters, then I think it's a marginal offensive line. Okay? Just right down the middle. So it's solid. I think we'll be fine. We can get by. Just to get by, just to get by, just to get by, just to get by. We can get by, right? That's all we're looking to do. Good to see you, bruh. Oh, and Forbes is a major problem and not in a good way. Look, I've already given you my Emmanuel Forbes plea. I've already begged of you, just create a little space in your mind to give him an opportunity, right? To just be open-minded enough to say, all right, I'm going to see what he does this year. But if he sucks, I'm done with him. I'm out on him. Fine. Deal, right? Just give him a chance in this system, because I think this system is set up for him to succeed. Unlike the last group who had no plan whatsoever for him. Hey, just throw the kid out there like he was that. You could just roll out Christian Gonzalez and say, hey, go get him, Tiger, because he could do that. He was built to do that. Emmanuel Forbes, you have to have a plan for him. If you don't, he will not succeed. I know what's coming next, and I'm prepared for it. I know the baked ziti is coming for Forbes. And you know what? That might not be the worst thing, because the minute you started calling Kendall Fuller baked ziti, he started playing well. So I know what's coming next. Barrett Downing, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy BD writes, I'm going to wait and see with Forbes. I think he can still learn, but he needs to hurry up. That's all I'm asking. All right. That's all I'm asking, is just give him a chance. All you're doing is you're giving him an opportunity, and you're having an open mind. You created that little bit of space that I asked. That's all I'm asking for. And you even said he needs to hurry up. That's fine. I know there's not a lot of patience with him for a lot of you. I get it. Just give him a chance this year. That's all I ask. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. My guy, Big Money Sonny writes, name one receiver in the league that you believe Forbes cooked ass can strap. I challenge you. If none is the answer, then why is he in the league? He can shut down a bunch of receivers. Not everybody is Garrett Wilson. Not everybody is A.J. Brown. Not everybody is Devontae Smith. Not everybody is CeeDee Lamb. We don't play against, like, he can. There are receivers on teams that aren't like super dynamic. Like, he was great against the Cardinals last year in the first game of the season. Remember, he had the pass breakup to end the game. Like, the Cardinals had no receivers that scared you last year. Now they have Marvin Harrison Jr., right? But he shut down all of those dudes in Arizona's game, right? Like, he can play against marginal receivers, guys that are solid. It's the guys that are upper echelon that he can't run with. Like, he can't play against them man to man. So we're going to have to adapt the scheme that tailors to his skill set. He's good in zone coverage at key and QB's eyes and jumping routes. That's what this scheme is allows corners to do. Deron Bland literally would be 7 yards off in his back pedal. The minute the receiver would break, he would break and he would take the ball away. That's what Forbes should be doing, and that's what I think they're going to ask Forbes to do. You're asking him to play man-to-man coverage. That's not who he is. We didn't draft Christian Gonzalez, and we didn't draft Joey Porter Jr. Those guys can play man-to-man coverage. We didn't draft a guy to play man-to-man. We drafted a zone corner who can take the ball away. Understand what you did, and then use him accordingly, okay? We drafted Josh Norman, so let him be Josh Norman. Don't draft Josh Norman like we did, sign him in free agency, and then ask him to be a man coverage corner when he made his name in Carolina as a cover 3 corner that played zone and took the football away. If you drafted a zone corner, use him in zone coverage. Period. Remember the last group went and signed William Jackson III, who was a man corner, and asked him to play zone? Remember that? How'd that turn out? Big Money Sonny, been a member for 34 months, almost at that 3-year anniversary. Bring back Wild Goose, Lou. Problem solved. You still got that jersey too, don't you? You still got that jersey, don't you? Frankie Yo, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Frankie Yo, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, if I give Forbes just a little space, he's so small, he's just going to slip right through. Well, then close the space up a little bit, man. Don't make it so wide that he can't fit, right? Pause. Just create that space, man. Whatever space is comfortable for you, create that space and give him a shot. That's it. That's my plea. Because I think this system is going to fit his skill set. I really do. So, anyway, I digress. So, we will be live tomorrow after the game. We will break down every aspect of that game. Soon as that game is finished, we'll be here on the Louie T Network breaking down everything we saw from start to finish. You know where to find me, and you know what we're going to do. So I look forward to seeing you guys roughly around 3 p.m. tomorrow, maybe 2:45. Hopefully the game moves a little fast as we get into the second half with a bunch of backups. The ball starts being run, the clock starts to run, and we get out of there a little sooner rather than later. But somewhere in that 2:30 to 3 o'clock range, we should be on this channel live talking about the first preseason game. And I'm telling you, you're going to feel a lot better about what you saw than you did the joint practice. And look, let's be honest. None of us saw the joint practice. We just listened to what we were told, and we saw clips, and most of it wasn't good. Okay. But it's going to be nice and sunny, and it's going to be dry, and we're going to see these guys in their uniforms for the first time, and we're going to be excited. And all of that stuff that we heard about yesterday, going to go out the window. We're going to be excited, and you're going to feel good coming out of this game. And you're going to go, you know what? That was a nice first game. Let's see what they do against the Dolphins. So, anyway, I digress. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so. Over 320 of you out there, only 106 likes. We can do better than that. Hit the like button on the way out. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content. Looking forward to chopping it up with you tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of content tomorrow, not just this game, but a number of interesting preseason games tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you probably multiple times tomorrow, but we will definitely be live after the game tomorrow. And I'll let you know what next week looks like, because next week is an abbreviated week. I know you're not trying to hear that. I'll explain myself tomorrow. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of the day. And I will see you tomorrow when we're talking about Commanders football, an actual football game. Celebrate! We officially made it to the finish line. We're here. They're on the field, and they're playing professional tackle football. What a time to be alive. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless. Good night.